2, 1. What is up, guys? It is Dazman here with another UFC video. And yes, I do know it might be a bit different. No, it's not a fight prediction, but it's an opinion-based video on what I think on the circumstances of the UFC. Well, I wouldn't say cancelling. They are rescheduling their UFC 215 card, which was supposed to be on August August the 19th to September the, I believe, 9th. September the 9th, due to the fact that the Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor fight is on the 26th of August, which I can understand where they're coming from, why they're doing it, because they're probably not going to pull as many numbers as they would like, because, you know, the fans are going to gravitate towards the big fight, which is going to be obviously McGregor versus Mayweather. And to be realistic, I think the head main event for the 215 card was going to be Demetrius Johnson versus TJ Dillashaw. So I don't think it would have pulled as many numbers as, for say, Daniel Cormier versus John Jones, which is on the July the 29th. But still, that fight, or that card, probably won't pull as many numbers as the Conor McGregor fight. So if you do move it, it's kind of a tactical thing. So if you do move it, you might actually be able to get more numbers, because you could have more people. Oh yeah, there's only going to be like one fight in that week. So people are going to be more like willing to, you know, shell out that money to go on the fight pass, or buy the fight pass for the fight, and, you know, just have a good time, watch it, maybe put a prediction in, or actually go and see it, because the tickets may be relatively cheap, because I think it's going to be held in Edmonton, Canada, which is I wouldn't say I have no idea where it is, but, you know, Canada could be a cheap fight. Seeming the flyweight fights that generally head main event cards aren't too big. Like, I think last fight Demetrius Johnson headline wasn't too big. It was like fight night, so it's kind of, I think it's well documented that the UFC don't really like to put the lower weight classes into like a main event slot, because it's going to be more difficult to to sell the card, rather than like a bigger weight class. Saying that, you've got, so like between July the 29th and September, you have only really got 3 fights. You've got the 214 card, which is Cormier versus Jones 2 on the 29th of July. Then you have the fight night, which is 114 in Mexico City, Mexico, which is headlined by Sergio Pettis versus, I can't remember the guy's first name, Moreno. So that could be an interesting fight, assuming he's not even Brazilian. No, yeah, he's Brazilian, he's not Mexican. So that could be an interesting, you know, like a contender. I think it might be flyweight, or no, not strawweight, bantamweight. I think it might be bantamweight, but it could be a good fight. Like both are, I think, top in, like, round about the bottom of the top 10. So it could be something. And then after that, you have, I think you have the Rotterdam fight card, which is headlined by Stefan Struve versus Volnan. I don't know, some Russian guy. So that could also be an interesting fight, but I feel like there's something that needs to fill the gap between those two fights, and then between those two fights and the next pay-per-view. So yeah, so then after those two pay-per-views, got the the Stefan Struve pay-per-view is on the September the 2nd, which is my bad. You've only got really one UFC event, and then the you have the UFC event, and then you have the Mayweather McGregor fight. Which, what is happening to my people here? Yeah, the Mayweather McGregor fight, and then you have the UFC 216, which I'm not entirely sure if they've pushed everything back, so they've cancelled the 216 fight, or rescheduled everything to the 216, so they've pushed everything back, which I'm not entirely sure, which could be interesting. And yeah, I'm going to restart this match, and I will see you whenever I restart this. I had a bit of technical difficulty with the some glitch in the game. So yeah, as I was saying, there's only really two pay-per-views between. I was saying that the 216 card is theoretically the 215 card because they've pushed everything back, I believe. But I'm still kind of confused how that would work, because if you've got the 215 card, then yeah, you've got 215 cards. So would it be like when John Jones didn't? No, when John Jones's opponent pulled out, so it'd be like they would scrap the whole card completely and then put Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw on that card, or reschedule every single fight on that card. Because with the fight what happened with John Jones, they did not reschedule him. They just completely cut the card, which hopefully it doesn't happen, because I'm not thinking of the people that get reasonably paid, like Demetrius Johnson, or the people like on the main card. I'm thinking like the people that are undercard and stuff like that. That might be the only actual fight they get, which is kind of like you're kind of robbing them for a paycheck, which is a bit bad. So yeah, hopefully that's the situation. And then after the UFC 216 to 216 slash 216, you've got UFC fight night on September 16th, which is to be announced, and then you have the UFC fight night in Japan, which is in the 23rd of September, which could be interesting. Not entirely sure who would headline that card. And then in October you have the 218. So I'm not entirely sure where the 217 card went. I think there might have not happened. I don't know. I'm just basing on the fact it goes up every single time. Like you got the 213 card, which is Nunez versus Shevchenko 2 on July the 2nd. No, July the 18th. Then you got the the Cormier versus Jones fight, which could be, which I said before could be interesting. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the whole stipulation. So yeah, that's been my opinions on the UFC switching the card around. If you have any opinions of your own, please leave them down in the comments below. I will read them, and I know if you have a valid point, or no, if you will have a valid point, because you're commenting on my videos. You're taking the time to come to my videos and watch them. So yeah, if you have a comment, just message and leave a comment, and hopefully I'll read it. Yeah. And if you already haven't, then why haven't you subscribed and liked the video? Because that like will help me very much. It will help me get through this video and produce another amazing video. So yeah, this has been Dazzling Man, and this has been a video. Hopefully you'll enjoy me. Stop rambling on, and I will end the video right now.